What's up guys, this is Crucial and welcome back to another video where this time we will be talking about Season 7 of the Clone Wars, which I am super excited but also quite sad about, and I'll explain why in a minute. As stated by Disney, this season will be released on the Disney Plus streaming service on February 21st, showcasing 12 episodes in total. That being said, many plot lines will not be animated in the 7th season, such as the Son of Dathomir plotline or the Dark Disciple one, which showcases, spoilers, you guys have been warned, click out of here, click out now if you plan on reading these novels in the future, you have been warned, which showcases the liberation of Maul from Sidious's capture, the death of Mother Talzin at the hands of Grievous, Dooku, and Sidious, and the death of Ventress. All such amazing narratives that unfortunately we most likely will not be able to see translated on the big screen, which is why I am so sad. However, another interesting thing to note is that the plotline of Season 7 instead will showcase unfinished episodes like the Bad Batch plotline and also the Siege of Mandalore, which shows the Republic invasion and liberation of the planet from Maul and his Shadow Syndicate's grasp. We briefly know the details of the story arc already, as we know it will actually take place during the time of Revenge of the Sith and actually during the time of Order 66. In fact, it is in these episodes where we see Ahsoka dueling Maul and then having both Rex and Ahsoka aid each other to escape the other clones who are in the process of enacting the Jedi Purge. In fact, regarding the Ahsoka novel, Johnston, who's the author, actually admitted that she was barred from being too specific with the action sequences regarding the Siege of Mandalore, as unknown to her, Lucasfilms was currently in the process of working on the final season of the Clone Wars itself. Going back to the fact that this season takes place during Revenge of the Sith, we also see scenes in the animated show that we were already exposed to in episode 3, such as Windu discussing how he senses a plot to destroy the Jedi around the time of where he and the other council members are about to confront Sidious. However, here's the strange thing. In the movie, this transmission takes place when Cody contacts Windu and informs him that the clones have begun their assault on Utapau, and Kenobi is in the midst of engaging Grievous. But in the showcasing of the scene in the trailer, Windu says this while Yoda is actually next to him physically, but in the movie Yoda isn't present at the temple when this takes place in Revenge of the Sith. To add on, we also see Obi-Wan viewing the transmission of Windu saying this, which means that the video and audio were likely split in the trailer, with Obi-Wan seeing the transmission at a later date, and with the scene of Windu and Yoda speaking to the other Jedi Masters being an earlier communication from sometime within Revenge of the Sith or earlier. This means that we will see many of the events of Revenge of the Sith from the perspective of different characters that we had not previously been exposed to in the movies. Like example, Kenobi seeing Windu saying this, whereas in the movie, he was busy fighting Grievous at the time. It has also been heavily rumored and even confirmed by Filoni that Order 66 will be showcased during the season, but most likely that we will see this from a different perspective. This is probably going to be the case, since the Siege of Mandalore will be touched up on during Season 7, and we know that this is when Ahsoka and Rex go into exile, so it is very likely that we will be seeing Order 66 from the eyes of Ahsoka. Going back to Ahsoka, unfortunately most of the events of what happened after her department of the Jedi Order and the time of where the Siege of Mandalore takes place is already explained in the Ahsoka novel. However, we do see some scenes of her in the underbelly of Coruscant, so we'll probably get a brief summary of how she returns back into the fold in Season 7 as well. With all of this having said, this is most likely why we don't see any scenes of Dooku, because it is very close to the time of where Anakin kills him, which is pretty unfortunate given the fact that there were some unfinished episodes involving him battling Boba's crew of bounty hunters. There was a lot more content to be shown that I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to see. Speaking of Sith Lords, it also appears as though the main villain in these 12 episodes will be Maul, as after he was captured, there was a battle between Grievous, Talzin, and Dooku, resulting in the death of his mother. However, Maul escapes with the aid of the Mandalorians loyal to him, and they return to Mandalore, where Bo-Katan finally reaches out to Ahsoka and enlists the aid of the Republic and the Jedi. During the siege, Maul tells Ahsoka that the galaxy is about to be remade and the Jedi and Republic will die. How he knows that the Empire will rise and his master's schemes of grandeur is unknown at the time, but it most likely very much has to do with this scene right here, where he captures a clone trooper, being Jesse, and appears to be using the Force to rip information from him. By doing this, Maul will have no doubt learned about his master's insidious plan to enact Order 66. Going back to the scene with Windu's transmission, if you pay close attention to the right, you can also see two figures right of Windu. That is Kanan Jarrus and his master Depa Billaba, who you may recognize from Rebels. One of the last things that I do actually want to touch up on is the confrontation between Ahsoka and Maul, which is touched up on in the Ahsoka novel and also referenced in Rebels. In Rebels, Maul asks Ahsoka if she's running from him again, which is regarding this moment right here where she is forced to flee from him after the ensuing events of Order 66, which means that during this very moment, during this very duel or preluding it, Windu is on Coruscant and had just fought Sidious and was killed, and Anakin is marching on the Jedi Temple. The final scene of the trailer has Ahsoka with what appears to be an incapacitated Rex, most likely fleeing from the other clone troopers who have turned on them. But seeing as to how Rex is incapacitated, it could be possible that Ahsoka force pushed him either to get him into the room faster, or perhaps because he turned on her despite us knowing that he later removes his inhibitor chip. Perhaps Order 66 still had some lingering effect despite its removal. It's not really certain as of this time, it's all up for speculation. That's pretty much the rundown of what I saw from this trailer. It is an amazing trailer, and honestly, even though I'm sad about so many narratives possibly not being actually animated in the show, it is still very, very cool to see that Season 7 will in fact carry into Revenge of the Sith during that time frame and actually Order 66 itself. I cannot wait. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button as more content is coming in the future. Unfortunately, I am currently in the midst of college work, but I absolutely love Star Wars and I love YouTube, so I'll keep these videos coming whenever I can. Once again, guys, this is Crucial, and until next time, everyone, I will see you all later. Peace out and take care.